This is my favorite controller. Let's talk. Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Guys, it's been 50 years, and what a journey it has been. Let me tell you, for many of my generation that grew up playing these little carts, Pitfall, one of my all-time favorites. Video games are really the mark of our generation, video games and computers. For us back in the day, it felt like this was the mark of our generation, This is something that belonged to us. When the Atari came along, our parents couldn't understand it. Nobody else that was older could understand it, but this was something that was strictly ours. And ever since then, we felt that way as Gen X'ers, that these video games have been ours. And I have to say, of the Atari now, of the Atari that we have today, I have to say this: they have exceeded my expectations. They really have. If you remember when the VCS first launched, there was a lot of negativity, there was a lot of doubt, this and that and the other. For me, the turning point was looking at the controller. Like, in the back of my mind, I knew I had to have this, And I'm not ashamed to say that this is my favorite controller. Is it the easiest? No. It all has to do with nostalgia. It all has to do with how I grew up playing games back in the day. Because video games back then were ours. Not only did video games identify our generation along with MTV, for me, the Atari video game system the 2600 came in a very difficult time in my life. My father had just died. I was 12 years old, and I was having a hard time handling it. And probably that's why my family got together to buy me this, because they knew I was having a really bad time with it, And to this day, it was one of the best days of my life, and probably one of the worst years of my life, And ever since then, I feel joy with video games. It was the first time that I was able to be happy for a while, during that whole time. And that's why I developed such a strong connection to video games, and it did identify as a generation along with my friends. And this is what we did, and what we kept on doing for several years. And now I've lost some of them. Some of them don't play anymore. But man, what a ride it's been. It has really, 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 in my particular case, changed my life in positive ways. Most of the people that play, that remember these games from back in the day, from the 2600, are all on the internet. That's where people reach out to each other. And what I found, at least in the VCS community, which I, really don't interact with a lot, I'll make a comment here and there, but I like to read. And the difference is that most of the talk, unlike other, systems, most of the talk has to do with the games, right? Games that we want to come out, games that are out. One of the things is this Recharge series has really been a hit for me. Some of the best games that I played, because I'm really into pick up and play games, right? Games that I can spend 5 minutes with, put them down, 10, 15 minutes, put them down. Those are great for me, whether it's, Black Widow or Yars Recharge right now. I'm having an amazing time. And it really is a throwback to what we used to do back in the day. Today, you didn't have games that lasted 20 hours and 60 hours. I mean, you could play those games for that long a time, but the games themselves were short. And to think back, and now, at my age, right, and think, man, what a great journey it's been, to see it from what the beginnings were to what it is now. We are in the golden age of gaming, in my opinion. You can have so many ways of gaming that we can never dream of back in the day, right? For all the complaints that people have, seeing it through the lens from somebody who's been playing, video games from the very beginning, there is so much out there, right? There really is so much out there to enjoy. But when I have conversations now you know, with other gamers. Most gamers that I talk to are, you know, 10 to 15 years younger than I am. So they actually never experienced the Atari when it came out, right? They came in much later. Some of them were Genesis fans, some of them were Super Nintendo fans, some of them PlayStation fans, you know? And it's really hard to convey what was going on at the time, right? And every year, unfortunately, there's less and less of us. But I really do feel blessed to be part of this generation that started this. People nowadays look at these games and look at them as simple and basic graphics. Most of them look at them as unplayable. Back in the day, we saw the future. We saw possibilities. Many of the people that created the games that you're enjoying now and that you have enjoyed in the past were inspired by these games. This video game system changed history. It was one of the building blocks of what you're enjoying today. And I'm so happy, and I mean really happy, that I got to enjoy it from the very beginning.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. Bet you don't know what I want, Jeffrey.
You want Atari's 2600 video game system, only $48.84 at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Only $29.97 for Activision's Pitfall 2 cartridge. Only $29.97 for the Decathlon cartridge, and just $29.97 for the Space Shuttle cartridge.
More games, more toys. Oh boy! I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
Attention shoppers, the new Atari cartridge game is in.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh. George again.
Ooh, Atari's ASCII battle.
It comes with 27 games, but that's just for starters. You can get 9 cartridges, 187 games.
Blackjack. Oh!
I'd like an Atari.
Sorry, only our demonstrators left.
Mine!
No, George. Mine.
The new video computer system by Atari. More games, more fun.
Okay, Atari, let's see your best pitch.
You're out, Rose.
I quit soccer to play Atari.
You need more practice, Haley.
You can't keep me in here, Atari.
The Atari video computer system is 20 cartridges with 1,300 game variations you play on your own TV set. Don't just watch television tonight. Play it.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.